Peace and love, family. Peace and love, family. Are you able to hear me? Peace and love, family. Are you able to hear me? Check 1 2, check 1 2, check 1 2. I'm going to share this for just a second. Let me share this for just a second. And then we're going to get right into it. That's right, surprise lecture series here on Facebook, the blatant undermining of the prophet. Pardon me. Let me make sure that I get these shares on real quick. Give me a second. I hope y'all having a beautiful day today. I'm going to be here in just about up to about an hour. And I want to share some, and I love to keep things current. So give me a second as I share this, because I definitely want to keep it current with current events and what people have shared with me. So now I got to share it with you, and we got to get down with the get down. I hope you can share it to your platforms. I'm going to do a disclaimer on this one. Let me make sure I get all those who are interested in learning the teachings of our Prophet Noble Drew Ali from an orthodox perspective. And when I say an orthodox perspective, I mean from a perspective that we can find in our prophet's teachings, bar none. So that's what my mission is. My mission is not to adulterate, flip the teachings, make them something that they're not, nor have people believe that there's something that they're not. So give me a second as I share this, and I hope that you will share it also. I'm going to tag a few people in there, and I want those that I tag in my videos. If you ever feel as though you don't want to be tagged in my videos, all you have to do is inbox me, and I will surely not tag you again. I will surely not tag you again. I know some people be feeling some type of way to be seen with Brother Tahaka Bey even tagged in his stream, because it would have people to believe that you are on my team. Well, only team I have is the Prophet's team, but if you see it that way, that's fine. I'm not tripping. I don't mind. What do we got here? Why can't I see this? Okay, there we go. Let me pull myself over here. How y'all doing today, family? I'm going to pull myself over here, give everybody a chance to share this real quick. I'm not going to be long. I'll probably be up to about an hour. I just think it's very important to capture the moment as it happens. You know what I mean? And so I seen a brother of mine do a live stream earlier today. Oh, let me tell you, what got me late, I couldn't get my gamma and my colors right for this presentation, so I just said the heck with it. So if it looked kind of dull, my apology. I've been busy. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But let me continue to share real quick, and then we're gonna get straight into it. We're gonna get straight into it soon as I continue this share. Hope y'all day is going well. Family, do anybody really want to get what the prophet intended for us right? I mean, don't be shy to leave a comment. Does anybody want to get what the prophet intended for us right? This is all I want to know. You know what I mean? Because if not, then we may as well just go ahead and go on about our business. You know what I mean? Do anybody really want to get anything the prophet doing right? I'm to the point now where as though I'm almost 1,000% sure that most Moors that I talk to are really not interested in getting what the prophet intended for us right. I'm almost 1,000% now. I mean, I feel as though I'm gonna lose a lot of people that considered me brother and friend, because I'm not going to have time to dialogue with you as I used to, because the building and the resurgence of the Moorish Science Temple of America demands so much of my time that I'm not going to be able to just dialogue just randomly no more. In fact, I was thinking about telling people, man, listen, I'm gonna give me an 800 number. You know what I mean? And I give you a message, I mean, like a telethon, because it's going to be that that heavy of a workload. And we got some heavy lifters with us. We got some heavy lifters that's ready to do some heavy lifting. And I just don't think I'm at the time. So with that being said, family, I'm hoping that I see y'all in here. I'm going to give it time to be shared. Yeah. I'm going to give it time to be shared as I share it myself. I know you're really not my enemy. Yeah, you want to steal my synergy. I know you're really not my enemy. You want to steal my energy, but you would be a friend of me. I'm trying to take us to the top now. Everybody want to see us flip, flop now. Nah, the people's grand sheet. So you really can't speak until I chose. I try to kick some bars real quick. Hold on.
People's grand sheet.
We about to get started.
I'm the people's grand sheet.
Give me a second. We about to get started.
The people's grand sheet.
Malik Bey, what it do?
I know you really not my enemy. You just wanna steal my energy.
Huh?
You acting like that slaveholder, and on the real, your heart seem a little colder. I know you mad, I'm the man now. Talking all crazy, looking crazy, homie, stand down. Cause on the real, I will line them up. It looks bad when you don't know your time is up.
Hold on.
See, I'm the people's grand sheet. See, the people chose me to represent love, truth, peace, freedom. Let's not forget the justice. And the balls from that scimitar, let that text spit for real. I'm the people's grand sheet. The people chose me.
Oh.
I'm the people's grand sheet. The people chose me, so right now you can't speak.
Talk to him.
I'm the people's grand sheet.
Huh?
The people chose me.
What?
I'm the people's grand sheet.
What up, Bowers Bay?
Right now you can't speak. The people's grand sheet, the prophet representative. I'm only doing what they shoulda did. Yeah, I'm talking about these old shits out in these streets.
Y'all looking so weak.
So what you want, fight now? The truth hurt, it got you all tight now. Internet wars, man, they the worst. Got the nerve to be talking about the family.
Talk to
in the church. Stuck on the keyboard, stuck on the iPhone, claiming Moorish national. Man, this stuff
We about to get started in a minute, family. Give me a minute.
Moorish national increases your capital. Your thoughts are so irrational. Don't own a piece of land, working for Uber Eats, or the pizza man. Can't build, can't farm, can't get along, and your days are almost People's grand sheet. The people chose me. I'm the people's grand sheet. The people chose me, so right now you can't speak. I'm the people's grand sheet. The people's grand sheet. I'm the people's grand sheet. The people's grand sheet. So right now you can't speak. Mr. Potato Head, you had your chance. The way you played your hand, you never will advance. You lack the integrity, wanna be celebrity, but you and I know that you would never be. This about uplifting, not rolling spliffs, getting lifted. Misfit, you missed it. The all doors are closed now. You out in the flood, you about to drown. I'm watching you go down and miss the scholarship. When I see it, I call it. You jumping from group to group just like a harlot, and that's just the facts. You can call me what you want, but can't adjust the facts. I never left the teachers, never adopted new philosophies. That's an act of European psychology. I'm with that old time religion. Truth don't change, hypocrites change, so I'ma remain. The people's grand sheet. The people chose me. I'm the people grand sheet. The people chose me, so right now you can't speak. I'm the people's grand sheet. The people chose me. I'm the people's grand sheet. The people chose me, so right now you can't speak. Harlem Noble Temple number 20. We open, family pull up. 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 351 West 122nd Street. Harlem, New York. New York. That's 102.7. Come on, pull up. Let's get it. Proclaim your nationality. Harlem on the rise. The trip capital of the United States, Harlem World. Come on up there, May the 2nd, 2025. Proclaim your nationality. Let's get it. Detroit, are you ready? Are you ready, Detroit? Detroit Noble Temple number 4. Noble Temple Surgeon 4 of the Prophet's Temple in Detroit, Michigan. Let's go. That's right, the D. Detroit, Michigan. Temple number 4. The Noble Temple number 4. That's right, don't get it confused. Noble Temple number 4. The official followers, subscribers, representative of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the Morris Science Temple of America, Noble Temple number 4. We open, family. That's right, May 2nd, 2025. Come take out your nationality and membership card for the Morris Science Temple of America. Proclaim your nationality. Join the Morris Science Temple of America, styled as the Noble Temple. We follow only the pristine teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. We call it Orthodox Islamism. We don't follow no adulterated teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, only the footsteps of the Holy Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Join us as we rebuild the Morris Science Temple of America. That's right, rebuild and reestablish the Morris Science Temple of America. The biggest event of the year comes to Detroit, Michigan. The usurping of the Morris Science Temple of America. Lecture by Tahaka Bay, the People's Grand Chief. If you ever wonder why the Morris Science Temple of America has not been on the forefront of civics, has not been on the forefront of liberation, then this lecture is for you. The usurping of the Morris Science Temple. This lecture is about the overthrow of the Supreme Grand Council, the Grand Body, and the Grand Sheik and Chairman. The very system that embodies the divine plan of the ages. The divine plan of the ages is the system that walks us from organization to nation. My objective now is to bring the people into the science that never heard of it before. Because you showed me those that think they know ain't ready to go. Sure. Your example. Harlem Noble Temple number 20. We open, family pull up. 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 351 West 122nd Street. Harlem, New York. New York. That's 102.7. Come on, pull up. Let's get it. Proclaim your nationality. Harlem on the rise. The trip capital of the United States. Harlem World. Come on up there. May the 2nd, 2025. Proclaim your nationality. Let's get it. Detroit, are you ready? Are you ready, Detroit? Detroit Noble Temple number 4. Noble Temple Surgeon 4 of the Prophet's Temple in Detroit, Michigan. Let's go. That's right, the D. Detroit, Michigan. Temple number 4. The Noble Temple number 4. That's right, don't get it confused. Noble Temple number 4. The official followers, subscribers, representative of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the Morris Science Temple of America, Noble Temple number 4. We open, family. That's right, May 2nd, 2025. Come take out your nationality and membership card for the Morris Science Temple of America. Proclaim your nationality. Join the Morris Science Temple of America, styled as the Noble Temple. We follow only the pristine teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. We call it Orthodox Islamism. We don't follow no adulterated teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, only the footsteps of the Holy Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Join us as we rebuild the Moorish Science Temple of America. That's right, rebuild and reestablish the Moorish Science Temple of America.
That's right, family. That's right, family. May 2nd, 2025, level 7, 23, 810, 7 Mile Road, family. Join the Moorish Science Temple of America. Proclaim your nationality, family. This is a community-based, Quran-based organization predicated upon the blueprint of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I am the Grand Sheikh and Chairman of the Moorish Science Temple of America, affectionately known as the Noble Temples. And so there won't be no confusion, I want everybody to know that we only use the name Noble Temples to make a distinction, because if you have been around for a day or two, you would know that there are many administrative people moving on the name Moorish Science Temple of America. And that is their religious right to do so. I don't claim to be the end-all, be-all. I just claim to follow the end-all, be-all. I claim to establish myself within the end-all, be-all teachings of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. So don't listen to what anybody tell you about me. I haven't called myself a Supreme Grand Sheikh, and in the vein that people call themselves that, nor have I called myself anything other than what I am. I am the Grand Sheikh and Chairman of the Moorish Science Temple of America, affectionately known as the Noble Temples. And in that regard, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali makes concessions for us to do so. As you would see that the Prophet affectionately called Temple number 9 West Side Temple in the written history, he refers to it affectionately as West Side Temple. And many other temples, you will see it in the written word. Baltimore Temple number 13. Detroit Temple number 4. Although the official name was the Moorish Science Temple of America, Temple number 4, you can see the styled as name written throughout history. So when we use the styled as Noble Temples, don't get it confused as if we're creating something new. No, what we're doing is trying to bring it back to the old time religion as taught by Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I'm on my soapbox today. Now listen, I was sent a video by quite a few people yesterday. And the video that I was sent yesterday was of our brother, highly esteemed brother, R. Jones Bey, the Grand Sheikh and moderator of Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated. And being in law with the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, I'm not here to speak radical or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government. I'm not here to speak radical against any organized group, which they are, but I'm here to speak truth. Okay? I'm not here to speak against any organized group. And then establishing yourself in truth, you just speak against falsehood, not against individuals per se, but because the statement that was made on social media, we must respond to it. Whether it's me or other administrations calling themselves the Moorish Science Temple of America that has arrived at some form of understanding of what we should be doing, we have the right to speak on things that appear to be misinformation. And if I'm wrong, I stand to be corrected. If I'm wrong, I stand to be corrected, and I don't mind being corrected. So let me tell you one more time, I'm not speaking radical against any organized group, which Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated is. Our first principle is love. Our second principle is truth. And we have to find the line between truth and radical and stand in truth. All right? Because the prophet, the way he taught, the way that we define radical today, it would appear to be that the prophet was speaking radical. All right? The prophet said we are to return the church and Christianity back to the European nations. And the way that people like to be so soft to define radical today, they would surely, if the prophet didn't say that statement right there, and a Moorish American would say that, and the law was do not to speak radical against any organized group, they would try to put you into the box that you're speaking radical. But no, truth is our second principle, and we should not neglect truth for the fear of being called a radical. We should not. And anyone that does that, then you're not upright, independent, and fearless. And this is a field that's open to strong men and women. This is not for the faint at heart. I'm sorry. Maybe next go around. Maybe next go around. This go around, this is a field open to strong men and women. Honor to each and every one of you for joining me today. One of the things that I'm speaking about today is a conversation that has been going on for quite some time, for many, many moons. And the conversation is, who was the right successor, or who ascended into leadership after the Prophet Noble Ali? Now, a spin of this argument has come to play. The spin, you'll get it as I go along. The reason why this is important, listen, if you have been around 20 years, you're probably tired of this conversation. Let me give you time to leave. If you've been here 30 years, I'm sure that you heard it all. Let me give you time to leave too. But if you are interested in getting it right, whether you've been here 20 minutes or whether you've been here 20 years or 30 minutes or 30 years, then you have come to the right place. Because the only way we can figure out how to move is to look at how things was moving back then. It's the only way we can figure it out. Only way we can figure it out. And it's very clear, it's very obvious that how things moved back then affects the way we move today. And so we look back then so we can correct today. That's it. And it's just unfortunate that some of your best friends fall on the wrong side of history. Some of the people that brought you into the science of the Moorish Science Temple of America fall on the wrong side of history. That is not your fault, and you shouldn't feel guilty about that. The only problem with that conclusion is the person is not able to accept the facts. That is not your fault. That is not your fault. And if the person decides not to be your friend after facts are presented, they wasn't your friend in the first place. So let's keep it moving. Now, so what I heard the other day was a video. I mean, somebody sent it to me. Quite a few people sent it to me. Yeah, Brother Arnold Bay of Temple Number 4 did a video addressing it earlier today, and I want to just cover it from a scholastic point of view. If you will. So make sure you share this. So I'm going to put scholarship to this understanding. I don't want to leave one stone unturned. So let's.
And some of the discussion has sometimes gotten out of hand. And that's that discussion about our brother Milieu. We want to eradicate that. We want to get rid of that. See, that's being used as an issue, and that issue can cause division. That's right. And we don't need no division. Right. All we gotta do is stick with what the prophet said.
That's it.
And the prophet said this on the back of here. He gives honor to those individuals who stood with him.
That's right.
Remember, they stood stood with him. And it was not very, it wasn't a very conducive time. I like that word. To stand. But he said, Millie Hill, Small Bay, Lover Bay, and Foreman Bay. They will go down in our history.
Yes, sir.
As standing with Prophet Noble Juali. So what higher honor is that?
Oh, my goodness, my goodness. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Malik. So what I was saying is, my sound, I was doing something else. So what I was saying is, and I got to be straight raw with you. If you were not or have not experienced the underbelly of society, the streets, if you have not experienced prison, if you have not experienced the upper areas of corporate America, or the inner workings of corporate America, or the inner workings of manipulative religion, then you may not even know what you're hearing. Press 7 if y'all can hear me now. Let me see if y'all can hear me now. Y'all can hear me now? Check. Hold up now. Hold up. Check 1, 2. Can nobody hear me? Check. Okay, y'all can hear me? All right, y'all can hear me? Okay, good. So I want you to hear me good, family. I want you to hear me good. Again, if you have not been in these sort of spaces, then you might not know what you just heard. You may not know. But this, what you just heard, was the 52 fake out. This was the shake. This was the dribble. Now, I'm going to play it back, and then I'm going to give you the lesson. This is the dribble that you have to pay attention to. Again, I'm only speaking on it because it's on social media, and I don't find it to be accurate. And if why somebody said they can't hear me? Let me see. Y'all still can't hear me? Somebody said they can't. Oh, I see. Oh, y'all should be able to hear me. Somebody said. Oh, yeah. I'm back, and y'all can hear me. So my apology for the delay, family. Some said they couldn't hear me. So I'm going to play it back, and then I'm going to break down what you should have heard.
And some of the discussion has sometimes gotten out of hand. And that's that discussion about our brother Millie Hill. We want to eradicate that. We want to get rid of that. See, that's being used as an issue And that issue can cause division. And we don't need no division. You know, all we gotta do is stick with what the prophet say.
That's it.
And the prophet say this on the back of here. He gives honor to those individuals who stood with him.
That's right.
Remember, they stood with him.
Let me stop right there, family. So when he says he gives honor to those who stood with him, that's kind of like it's accurate, but it's not the full scope of why those names are on the back of your pamphlet. It's just not accurate. It's just not accurate, and so now I got to show you what is accurate. All right. So on the back of your pamphlet, of your questionnaire, what you are looking at is this paper here. Y'all see this paper here? This is the paper that you're looking at. This is the paper that you're looking at. Let me open it up for you. Okay? This is the paper that you're looking at. And this paper that you're looking at is a legal document. This is not just somebody standing with somebody in the full sense of standing with somebody. This is a legal document. And what this legal document describes is the functionality of the administrative process of the Moorish Science Temple of America. All right? So when you look at the top of this, this is a corporation religious affidavit of organization. And when you look at the names on here, these are just not people standing with the prophet. These are officers of the prophet's movement. They are just not standing with the prophet. These are officers picked, chosen, appointed, anointed, consecrated by Prophet Noble Drew Ali. These are just not random people standing with Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I need you to press a 7 if you are with me. Okay? Press a 7 if you are with me. So in these names, you have Noble Drew Ali. His name is number 1. You have Miliel. His name is number 2. You have Maul Bay, which should be Small Bay. His number 3. You have Lovett Bay. He's number 4. You have Foreman Bay, number 5. Foreman Bay sold out on the prophet and tried to set the prophet up, which is clear in the evidence of the videos that I've done before. Lovett Bay ran with Claude Green with Temple number 9 and Kirkman Bay. Small Bay went to the police and came with a story to actually get the prophet in handcuffs. If it wasn't for Small Bay statement to the police, the prophet probably would have never gotten locked up and accused of the atrocities that happened to Claude Green. Although he was found not guilty and the grand jury let it ride, let it go, dropped it, whatever. If it wasn't for Small Bay running to the police with this crazy story, setting the prophet up to be incarcerated and locked up and removed so other people could step in, Prophet Noble Drew Ali would have never been put in handcuffs. It was Small Bay that did this. Now, left over is E. Miliel. E. Miliel, this is a corporate document, family. In other words, just like in any corporation, if something happened to the president of the corporation, there is somebody next in line, whether it is said or not. But in this situation, it was expressed as well as on paper. I need you to press 7 if you're with me because I want to make sure that we are on the same page. So in other words, if something was to happen to Noble Drew Ali, the next corporate leader of the organization would be Miliel. If something happened to Miliel, the next would be Small Bay, and then Lovett Bay, and then Foreman Bay, and on and on and on like that. This is a legal document. This is not I'm standing with the prophet. This is a legal binding document. This is what is on back of your questionnaire. Now, this is what I mean by the undermining of the Moorish Science Temple of America and the teaching of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. This is what I mean, that a lie cannot bring forth the divine. Now, you don't have to like me. You don't have to agree with me. I open up the line so we can have a conversation about this. All right? Now, with that being said, let me adjust myself. With that being said, this document is born out of these instructions right here. All right? This is not someone standing with the prophet in the most simplest form. No, this is legal. All right? So, in this document that was born out of this instruction or document or blueprint, 805 ILCS, Section 35, any church, congregation, or society formed for the purpose of religious worship may become incorporated in the manner following: by electing, appointing, according to its uses and customs, at a meeting held for this purpose, two or more of its members as trustees, wardens, and vestrymen, or such other officers whose powers and duties are similar to those of trustees. Now, whose powers and duties are similar to those who are trustees. All right? So, when you look at what the prophet demonstrates in this document right here, it's very clear that similar to trustees, you will see that the prophet Noble Drew Ali, in his most eloquent way, you see that he would cross out trustees and write in sheiks. In other words, those that are in this lineup are the trustees, or that is interchangeable with sheiks, where these are the only people who have the power to act in the name of the religious corporation. No one else have the power. You don't have to like Emilio. You don't have to like Small Bay. You don't have to like Lovett Bay. You don't have to like Foreman Bay. Hey, you don't even have to like the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. However, this legal document is the foundation of the structure of the Moorish Science Temple of America. And when you hear someone make the statement that, one more time,
issue, and that issue can cause division. And we don't need no division. You know, all we gotta do is stick with what the prophet say.
That's it.
stick with what the prophets say.
And the prophet say this on the back of here. He gives honor to those individuals who stood with him.
That's right.
Remember, they stood with him. And it was not very, it wasn't a very...
No, brother, it's not a trust in the conventional form of a trust. It is a religious corporation filing affidavit, brother. Don't get it confused. That's pseudo.
Conducive time. I like that word. The stand. What he said. Milieu, Small Bay, Lover Bay, and Foreman Bay. They will go down in our history.
Yes, sir.
As standing with Prophet Noble Drew Ali. So what higher honor is that?
So what you're hearing is skating around the fact that these names on this corporate filing is the actual heir of the Moorish Science Temple of America as a corporate religious corporation. So when we use the term Moorish Science Temple of America Inc. or the Inc., know for sure that it is an incorporation. You know, Miliel used Inc. also. We affectionately use the term Inc. to refer to those who call themselves the Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated. But in reality, the movement that the Prophet created is an incorporated organization incorporated in this government, and the officers that was with the Prophet, stood with the Prophet and was set for leadership of the Prophet after the Prophet, and the line is written in our document. So much so that the Prophet put it on back of the questionnaire so there'll be no confusion. Now, with that being said, when you look at how it was skated around the fact of the leadership or the position of leadership after the Prophet, like it was trying to address it, but not really touch it. Like the brother was trying to address it, but hold up, not really address it. You know what I'm saying? Let me just address it in such a way to hush some people that's among us who are asking questions. That's all that's going on. Like if we keep it a whole stack, that's all going on. Some people are asking questions. Some people are wondering why nobody is giving honor to the man that the Prophet gave honor to. Some people are asking questions. In order to calm the fury of these questions, say, we honor this man because he stood with the Prophet. No, that is not enough. That is not enough. He didn't only stand with the Prophet, he was chosen by the Prophet to lead the Moors, and people neglected to stand with him. That's what really happened. A few choice people neglected to stand with him, the same ones that neglected to stand with the Prophet when the Prophet was living. This didn't happen after the Prophet transition. These are the same people that was against the Prophet. And this is the part people have to understand. So on the Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated website, it reads, the last line, after the Prophet passed, it was a brother who had wisdom, understanding, patience, and courage to carry on with the Prophet's work, believing in his own heart that he could, with determination to try. It was he who served the test of time, loyalty, and obediently. He proved his worth in the name of love. He was voted in office by the Moors and sanctioned by the government to be the best man for the job. The question people need to ask is, who are these Moors and when did this voting happen? That's what we need to know. If we can get to that, then we can start to have a real conversation. Who are these Moors that voted him into office? Where are they? What's their name? What's their position? Did they even have the ability, according to the system of Prophet Noble Drew Ali, to vote someone into office? When did this take place? We need to know. We need to know. We need to know who are these people, so we can get to the bottom of this, so we can continue on building on the Prophet Noble Drew Ali's mission. Who are these Moors? Can anybody tell me who are these Moors? Because this is ambiguous. This is ambiguous. Who are these Moors that voted Kirkman Bey into office? Please, somebody say something to me. Can somebody please? I don't have enough time. I got like 30 or 45 minutes. I need somebody to write it in there in the chat. Who are these people? Industrious acts, I'm going to have to block you, bro. You're off topic, brother. I'm going to have to block you. We're not talking about public and private. I'm going to have to block you. This is not that, brother. I love you, but this is not that. We're on a whole nother topic right now. We could talk about public and private another time. We're talking about who is the Moorish Science Temple of America, how it's supposed to look, and how it's supposed to be administered before our people in the public. We can't talk about public and private right now, brother. That's another show. That's another time. But the point that I'm making, I need somebody to help me so I can be right. I don't want to be wrong. This is a holy and divine movement, and I don't want to be wrong. I don't want to mislead nobody. I don't want to tell people lies by mistake because I'm misinformed. So I need somebody. We got some people in the crowd. Somebody tell me, who are these people that voted the brother into office and sanctioned by what government? Please, can somebody, man, I don't have a lot of time. Please, I really want to finish this presentation. Somebody knows. It's been since 1929. And Prophet Noble Drew Ali transitioned in 1929. So it implies that he was voted in 1929 and ascends to the prophet position. Family, we need to know who did that vote, please. We need to know who did that vote. Listen, I don't want to be wrong. I don't want to mislead people. So please correct me so we can move on. I don't see any answers. Okay. Well, the question still stands, all right? It still stands. And if somebody can put it in there, I will correct my information so I don't mislead people. I don't want to mislead people at all. I'm telling you, my heart is really on building in the footsteps of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And if you can show me, Allah is my witness, I will correct my error. I will apologize. But for now, we know when the prophet went on tour, the prophet appointed Emeliel to oversee all the temples. All right? Brother Emeliel, what they say Eli in this, Grand Governor will preside over all temple activities. All right. All temple activities in Chicago during the prophet's itinerary to all of the temples in America. Brother Emeliel is one of the foremost and most eloquent speakers of the movement in America and is credited with having made many converts. We know that in this letter where Emeliel speaks to how he ascended into his position, that he didn't do it secretly, that everyone was there when it happened. Let's read this. And if I'm wrong, I don't mind being corrected. Let's read this. Advancement and promotion. Joined the movement January 1st, 1927. And on June the 1st, 1927, I was approved of and appointed by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali as first assistant chairman of the Moorish Science Temple of America. And following the approved appointment, I had the support of the entire grand body. I had the appointment of the entire grand body. I had the approval. So in other words, everybody knew that Emeliel was appointed by Prophet Noble Drew Ali. So where does this vote come from? Everybody knew. Mind you, this is of the same cachet of letters where they said, give Kirkman Bey the key. This is of the same letters, but we ain't going to get into all that. Let's just finish reading this. With a unanimous consensus in the behalf of the prophet's choice and appointment. And in August the 1st of the same year, I received an appointment from the prophet as general chairman of the said Moorish Science Temple of America. Now, I want you to notice how he uses the term Moorish Science Temple of America. And when you see said, it's referring to the definite article Moorish Science Temple of America, the Moorish Science Temple of America. So when he said, I'm giving you a nugget right now, but you got to study to get it. When he says said Moorish Science Temple of America, said in legal terms means what formerly was mentioned. So he's the chairman of what? The Moorish Science Temple of America. All right. I'm going to go on from that. Hopefully you catch it. Anyway, with that being said, and was made Grand Sheik under the Prophet in February 1928. I wrote insurance that year. In the first annual convention, I was promoted to the office or rank of Supreme Grand Sheik by the divine prophet Drew Ali. This promotion by the prophet took place. Now, I tell you, everybody agreed that this letter is good and stands the test of time because they quoted themselves, but they just grabbed a little snippet about the keys. But I need to read the whole thing to you. It says that year, and at the close of the said year, in the first annual convention, I was promoted to the office or rank of Grand Sheik, Supreme Grand Sheik by the divine prophet Noble Drew Ali. This promotion by the prophet took place in the first setting of the Supreme Grand Council representing the Moorish Science Temple of America in a public meeting. Now listen closely, family. In a public meeting at 3140 Indiana Avenue in the month of November 1928, the prophet made it very plain in 3 statements. Now, not only was he appointed in October, but there must have been some whispering and kickback of the prophet's appointment because, of course, they thought they were smarter than the prophet. The prophet reiterates a month later. In the month of November 1928, the prophet made it very plain in 3 statements that he was the supreme head. Bro Emiliel was the supreme Grand Sheik next to me. What more we need to discuss? The prophet. In other words, it's the prophet, then Emiliel. It's the prophet, then Emiliel. What more are we discussing? What more are we discussing? What more is it to discuss? And that means all temples, listen, and that means all the temples in this government. And that means all the temples in this government. That makes Emiliel the national head of the movement after the prophet. What more are we discussing? So when you hear things about standing with Emiliel and all that, that's not right. That's not right. That's shucking it. That's shaking now. That's shaking. Listen.
And some of the discussion has sometimes gotten out of hand. And that's that discussion about our brother Miliel. We want to eradicate that. We want to get rid of that. See, that's being used as an issue. And that issue can cause division. And we don't need no division. You know, all we gotta do is stick with what the prophet say.
That's it.
And the prophet say this on the back of here. He gives honor to those individuals who stood with him.
That's right.
Remember, they stood with him.
How can one in good faith be in a religious organization where this is clearly disingenuous? This is clearly disingenuous. This is nothing against my brother R. Jones Bay, but this is clearly disingenuous. But who have courage enough for truth? Who has courage enough for truth? Who? If you want to live out, if you want to live out the creed of the prophets movement, then we got to stand on truth. Not on buddy club, not on friendship. Not mama, not cuzzo, not anybody. It's truth that sets you free. Understanding is the rock on which man builds himself. You have to understand why someone would venture to say that this is just standing with the prophet. No, it's bigger than that. Let me read just a little more. Again, this letter that I'm reading, everybody uses it. Both sides uses it, but one side always only use a snippet. Today, I'm going to read the whole thing. He says, the Supreme Grand Sheikh next to the prophet, and that means all the temples in this government. And there is but one Moorish Science Temple of America, and that is mine, Noble Drew Ali. Why would the prophet say that there is one Moorish Science Temple of America? Because we know that there was Claude Green siding up with Temple number 9. There was Claude Green siding up with Lomax Bay. There was Claude Green siding up with Temple number 17. And unmentioned temples that was formulating under the Moorish Science National Temple of America. Now, Emilio goes a step further. He says, at an official meeting in February 1929, I was made shepherd of his flock by him and was told by him to feed his lambs and feed his sheep. The same month, remember, February 1929 is when they sprung the takeover of the Moorish Science Temple of America, as you've seen in my last presentation. I don't have time for it today. But anyway, I was called by the prophet and told to come to help him carry on his work. The call came as following. Because for the sake of time, I hope I can get this letter to people who really need to see it. But it's basically talking about Miliel assisting the prophet Noble Drew Ali. You know what I mean? As one who's going to have to do the prophet's work. Now, let me go to my next one. I read that. Now, here is another letter. Emilio talks about when they tried to overthrow him and he went to court. And in this letter, many were there when the decision was handed down. Now they claim that the judge has never passed this decision. These people went against the prophet in such a way that they would even try to take Emilio to court to get a hold of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Emilio was compelled to defend himself in court against those who was going against Prophet Noble Drew Ali executive will. The executive will of Emilio being the head of the organization. Why is this so important? Because the moment that you remove Emilio, you know what else you remove? You remove one of the most serious positions that helps the movement operate. That's what you do. You move one of the most serious positions that helps the movement operate. All right? And that position I'm going to share with you right now is called the Supreme Grand Council. When you remove Emilio, you remove that position. And why is that important? On April the 27th, 2025, I'm going to be breaking this down. I'm going to be breaking this down in Detroit at level 7. Now, let me share this with you. Let me share this with you, if you will. The Supreme Grand Council is very instrumental in the operation of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Without it, there's no way that you will be able to demonstrate what you call the Moorish Science Temple of America. You will not be able to demonstrate it. It is impossible because the Moorish Science Temple of America is designed to go from organization to government. That's why in that letter, Emilio mentioned all the temples in this government. And without that, there's no way to do it. So let me share with you for a minute, if you will. Let me share with you just a snippet of what I'm talking about. All right. Let me share with you for a minute of what I'm talking about. When the prophet appointed Emilio as the Supreme Grand Sheikh of the Moorish Science Temple of America, let me read the big whole piece to you for the sake of time. It is reported that the prophet, the supreme executive authority, will appoint a Supreme Grand Council, of which he will be Supreme Grand Chairman. The Supreme Grand Chairman will have power. The Supreme Grand Council will have power and duty to control and supervise all affairs and properties of the Moorish Science Temples of America. And it will be the sole judge, give me a minute, and it will be the sole judge, you hear me? And it will be the sole judge of what constitutes conduct injurious to the order of peace in the interest or welfare of the organization. Now, why would one remove an element of the organization that was established by the prophet, who was divinely prepared, that helps to maintain order and peace? Why would someone remove that element? It doesn't make sense. Why would one remove the element that helps maintain order and peace unless they wanted to maintain confusion? They wanted the continuation of confusion. So of course they would remove that, because now people be running around chasing their tail with no discipline to the laws of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, as set by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, by the institution called the Supreme Grand Council, that sets and judge that which is and what is not Islamism. So you remove the Supreme Grand Council so you can put in a figurehead, a dictator, one who seems to be moving like the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, but yet do not have the ability to live out the creed as expressed by Prophet Noble Drew Ali, because it's missing some elements. It's like taking a bolt out of your engine of your car and expecting the car to continue to treat you right. You take that one bolt out, you give it enough time, that engine gonna fall apart. And we are at the level now in history where the engine is falling apart. That car jagging off is falling apart. Because when you look at the lesson, Listen to the lesson. The Supreme Grand Council will have the power and duty to control and supervise all the affairs and property of the Moorish Science Temples of America, and it will be the sole judge of what constitutes conduct injurious to the order of peace. In the interest or welfare of the organizations, or at variance with its constitution and bylaws. In other words, the Supreme Grand Council is a group of brothers and sisters that has been elevated to that level to look at the prophet work and find out if we are still on the path that the prophet gave us, or have we gotten off the path. This is the judicial element of the Moorish Science Temple of America of sorts. With the Constitution and bylaws, also the rules and regulations made by the prophet, and shall be the sole judge of the sufficiency of the evidence by which conduct is shown. So, on April 27th, 2025, at level 7, I'll be breaking down these elements: the grand body of the Moorish Science Temple of America, the grand sheikh and chairman of the Moorish Science Temple of America, and the Supreme Grand Council. Because if you want to go from organization to nation, you must have all elements. Remove Emiliel, you remove one of the main elements. Honor Emiliel as standing by the prophet as opposed to the official position and the operation of the position and the functionality of the position. You collapse the purpose of the Moorish Science Temple of America in a way that it can never reach the destiny that it was designed for. As the prophet say, he said, the true Moors follow the prophet to a destiny which is not uncertain nor unknown. When you remove that position, when you color over Emiliel and act like Emiliel is not important to how this system looks, then you will never reach the goal set by our prophet, divinely by our creator. You never will reach it. It's impossible. Now, was Emiliel perfect? Absolutely not. Was Emiliel the prophet? Absolutely not, by no stretch of the imagination. Did Emiliel make mistakes? Of course he did. But one thing for sure and two things for certain, the prophet was divinely prepared and sent to this earth. And when we look at Emiliel, we look at a station that needs to be fulfilled so we can fulfill the destiny of the Moorish Science Temple of America. It's not necessarily about the individual, it's about the station that needs to be fulfilled so we can fulfill the destiny of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Hence, the Moorish Science Temple of America, styled as the Noble Temples, we subscribe to the orthodox expression of the Moorish Science Temple of America, and we demand that we build it one brick at a time. Put away the lies, put away the falsehood, put away the games, put away all of the shucking and jiving, and build it one brick at a time according to how the prophet intended it to be. You can continue to build what you're building, calling it what you want, using elements that you want, but we that believe, have faith and confidence in Prophet Noble Drew Ali need to build it like the prophet intended, or we will not reap the rewards that come with building a holy and divine movement. I bought you everything you need to save a nation. Now take it and save yourself. We need to take these truths and save ourselves. And you can't be bashful. You can't be shy. You can't be talking about, but I did this for 30 years, or, but what about this and what about that? No. What about sitting at the table of solutions and trying to figure out how to apply this divine and national movement? It goes on to say, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali is being congratulated by Chicagoans on the success of the Moors' first annual convention and for his splendid work in promoting the cause of human brotherhood. See, family, we have done things wrong so long we think wrong is right. We've done wrong so long we think wrong is right. We're going to miss our friends that don't want to do it the right way. Our friends going to miss us. But if you want to live in the divine, you got to do it the right way. There is no shortcut. There is no back door to salvation or liberation or freedom. The prophets say, I am set up to go one way. It is said that the prophet said, I am set up to go one way, and I must go that way. Emeliel mentioned that the prophet said, it can't be changed. It can't be changed. So whoever changes it, there's a problem. Now, here we go. Let me go to my next room. We know without a doubt or contradiction that the prophet Noble Drew Ali appointed our brother Emeliel to be in that position, without a doubt or contradiction. And even at the first annual convention, with everybody there knowing that, they still chose to go against Prophet Noble Drew Ali. They still chose to go against Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Now, I can only speculate that Emeliel was not in the know as to all the moves that was being made to try to overthrow Prophet Noble Drew Ali. However, I can say that right here in the second annual convention, that we see that Emeliel did a presentation of credentials by delegates. That shows who is the head in 1929. And in fact, on this program, you see Brother Kirkman Bey, Supreme Grand Advisor. You don't see moderator. You see Supreme Grand Advisor. Emeliel says that he presented this title, honorary title, to Kirkman Bey for performing a ritual at the prophet's burial. But they would come back and say that Emeliel was so distraught that Kirkman Bey had to perform the prophet's funeral. That's a lie. That's a lie. He did a ritual. He circled a casket and did some Masonic type rituals around the casket, and that was his part of the program. Just like when you go to any other funeral, you have people doing certain parts. And to honor Kirkman Bey, and I'm of the thought that Kirkman Bey asked for it, because Emeliel would go along and say that he didn't see the trick that was being played, which would imply, this is not fact, this is speculation, which would imply that the trick that was being played was asking to be granted this title. But again, at the first annual convention, you see the title, it doesn't have moderator on there. Moderator would imply that he is moving on the operation or the daily operation of meetings or et cetera, who knows what in the psyche of using these terms, because they're not the prophet's terms. But we see that it clearly says Supreme Grand Advisor. The moment that he moves on his mission or further his mission in 34, he takes on the name Supreme Grand Advisor and moderator. Now we see that Emeliel was presenting credentials. Now Emeliel said the reason why that this is on the flyer is because, on the program, is because although he discovered the trick before convention, he said the programs were made before convention and they had not time to remove it. It is what it is. But a Supreme Grand Advisor is not a position that calls for the leadership of an organization that already has a leadership, and that leadership was the Supreme Grand Sheik, Brother Edward Meliel. All right? Now, but just as the credentials was given to given to Kirkman Bey, they were also stripped from him after understanding that the trick was played. So Emeliel, although he removed the credentials immediately before convention, he removed those credentials. In the following year, he made it law. He says Islam. At the following year at the convention, he made it law. He says, Islam, Brother C. Kirkman Bey, this is to notify you that the above-named organization, Moorish Science Temple of America, in convention September 15th to the 20th, rescinded by voting out the mistake made by the second annual convention of 1929. If one gives you the position, all right, let me do this real quick. I want to read this, Brother Michael Thompson here. Brother, I can't feel you on this. One brother, just because our national leader did not say officers or did not elaborate on these stations, when you know we all are subject time, brother, you'll find ill with that. Brother, you could have used anything else and I would have been with you. Would you like to come on, use anything else? What? Let me read this slow one more time. It's a comment in the chat. He says, Islam, I can't feel you on this one, brother. Just because our national leader did not say officers or did not elaborate on these stations. Well, that's the important part. You can't leave out officers. This is an organization. You can't leave out officer, brother. And now what you're doing is you're trying to, matter of fact, let's do it like this. Let me show the people what you just said. I got some time. I got a little bit of time. Let me show the people what you just said. Give me a second. I'm going to show the people what you just said. Give me a second. I want to read this publicly because, like I said, I love to do things right and exact. So let me read this, family. Stand by with me. I got about 15 minutes. I got to get out of here. I got about 15 minutes. I got to get out of here, but I do want to share this with you. All right. This is Michael Thompson L. Michael Thompson L is not able to accept truth at this point, but I do want to use Michael Thompson L as a sounding board for those who are able to accept truth. So give me 1 second, family. Here is, see, I do things in real time. He just did this comment. All right. The comment says, Islam, I can't feel you on this one, brother, because our national leader did not say officers, nor did he elaborate on these stations when you know we all are subject to time. So everything can't be said. Brother, it is easy to say Emeliel was the Supreme Grand Sheik after the Prophet. When your national leader stand up and neglects to say, I give honor to Emeliel, and he says, I give honor to Kirkman Bey, F. Nelson Bey, J. Blakely Bey, R. Lovell. What are you talking about, brother? What are you talking about? This has been going on since 34 that nobody has given honor to Emeliel. What do you mean that because he didn't elaborate? It don't take much elaboration, brother. Stop it, Michael Thompson L. It doesn't take much elaboration just to acknowledge who the Prophet appointed as the Supreme Grand Sheik and that would follow him in leadership. That doesn't take much, brother. Stop it, please. Please, that doesn't take much at all. You're making concessions, brother. But now, since you like to make concessions, let's look at this. Let's look at this. What does this say to you? What did it say to you?
So this is who I give honor to. And for the reason I give honor to Brother Miliel. And you're seeing it from me. I give it to him because the prophet has put him on the back.
Praise Allah. That's right.
He give honor to Emeliel because the prophet put him on the back of the questionnaire. Not because he's a trustee, not because he's a sheik, but listen further.
And his authority.
Right,
and the prophet knew way more about him than I do. And if the prophet stood, if he stood with the prophet, then I got the honor. But by no means.
Listen closely, Michael Thompson L. But by no means
do I elevate anyone to an office that he is not acknowledged in.
But by no means do I elevate anyone to an office that he's not acknowledged as. What is he saying, Michael Thompson L? He had enough time to say that he is not going to elevate Emeliel to an office that he's not acknowledged at. Did you hear that? I need to play it again.
Not acknowledged in.
Praise Allah. Praise Allah.
What you mean he wasn't elevated to an office that he wasn't acknowledged? The prophet acknowledged him by the same pamphlet that was held in the air. Michael Thompson L., are you still there? Are you still there? Listen to this. No, he doesn't say Emeliel's name, but the context of the conversation in this segment is about Emeliel. Listen to what he says.
Not acknowledged in.
Praise Allah.
Means do I elevate anyone to an office that he is not acknowledged in.
Praise Allah. Praise Allah.
No. Jones Bay is not saying as no grand sheep, no moderator. No, I'm saying based on this.
That's right.
You want to hear that one more time? Listen again.
No moderator.
Listen.
No. Jones Bay is not saying as no grand sheep.
Jones Bay is not saying there's no grand sheik, no moderator.
No moderator. No, I'm saying based on this.
That's right.
I'm giving him honor.
Grand Jones Bay saying is not saying that there's no grand sheik, that there's no moderator. But based on this, I'm giving them honor. In other words, the Grand Sheik and moderator stands, and I honor Emeliel for being on the back of your questionnaire, and that's it. But this whole presentation is to show you that the prophet honored Emeliel as his successor, that the prophet honored Emeliel as the head of the movement in his absence, that the prophet honored Emeliel as the head of the Supreme Grand Council that measure what is and what is not Moorish as it relates to the teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. So we don't need a man to elevate Emeliel. We need to understand that the prophet elevated Emeliel, and we need people to understand understand the position that he held so we can fulfill these positions and march towards our liberation as it relates to the Moorish Science Temple of America. Without it, there is no liberation through the Moorish Science Temple of America. Without it, without understanding Emeliel's position and understand the functionality of the position, you cannot operate a Moorish Science Temple of America in the same vein that the prophet operated and designed the Moorish Science Temple of America. There's no way possible that you'll be able to operate a divine movement because you took something out of it. And you continue to justify it. And you continue to dance around it. And you continue to act like it's not important. But this prophet of ours was divinely prepared and sent to this earth. He asked us to preserve these holy and divine laws. He asked us, listen, he asked us to protect this movement. Once again, family, I done ran out of time. But again, this has nothing to do with trying to rattle anybody's chain. What I'm trying to do as a lover of the science called Islamism, I'm in love with Islamism. What I'm trying to do as a lover of the science called nationality and divine creed, what I'm trying to do is awaken a new generation so we can do it. I'm not depending on you old Moors sitting there saying praise Allah in Islam. Because if you know, you do what you know. When man know, he must be what he know. I'm not depending on anybody in the peanut gallery talking about Islam, praise Allah. I'm not depending on none of them. I'm depending on a new generation who get inspired and wonder why this divine movement that they read about in their Quran, that they read about in their Moorish literature, that they read about in their questionnaire, that they validate and qualify by looking through history. I'm looking for those strong men and women so we can leave something great for the generation after us. That's what I'm looking for. This is not to try to get someone in the Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated to cross over and call me some Grand Sheik, Supreme Grand Sheik, or Grand Sheik and Chairman. This is not that. So don't accuse me of that. This is not that. Because guess what? This movement will be around when we're long gone. But how will it look will be determined by us. By us. And it should not look the way it's been looking for the last 80 years. And I think we all can agree on that. So that shows us that something is missing. And I'm showing everybody what's missing. Now, what makes me qualified to move on this? Sincerity of heart, confidence, diligent research, and application. But it starts with a sincere heart. So we calling on all people with a sincere heart. If you think your conditions can be better, join us as we bring the Moorish Science Temple of America, as taught by Prophet Noble Drew Ali, back to the people, back to the community. Come out of the back rooms, bring it back to the community. Every other community is out there. The Hebrew Israelites are out there. The Nation of Islam, they're not out there like they used to, but they're still out there. The church out there having bake sales. The gays are out there. Yeah, the LGBT, XYZ, they out there. The other nationalities are out there. Where are the Moors? So the Moorish Science Temple of America, styled as the Noble Temples, we are the community-based Moorish Science Temple of America. We are a Quran-based Moorish Science Temple of America. We are a Prophet Noble Drew Ali-based Moorish Science Temple of America. And we willing to sit down with anybody who says that we got it wrong or that we haven't gotten it right. We are willing to have a conversation. Because I don't want to be stirring nobody wrong. We've been stirred wrong too long. I am not a Mason. I've never been and never had a desire to be. I believe that the prophet brought us everything we need. I can't find it in Masonry. I can only find what I need in the prophet's teachings. I am not a Shriner. I don't need it. Because I have faith that the prophet brought us everything that we need. I'm not a Mason. I'm not a Shriner. I've never been in any secret organization. I have no desire to be in a secret organization, and I will never ever be in a secret organization or fraternity, because the Moorish Science Temple of America is my fraternity. The Moorish Science Temple of America is my brotherhood, my sisterhood. The Moorish Science Temple of America is my nation, and I refuse to give my time to anybody else or any other thing, and the Moorish Science Temple of America has been in shambles. All of my time, my energy, and my efforts will be dedicated to the Moorish Science Temple of America, not the Masons, not the Shriners, not nothing else, not the Boys and Girls Club, not the Twinkie Club, not the nothing. Everything that we need is right here in the Moorish Science Temple of America, and that's where I plan for the rest of my life to dedicate my time and efforts. I don't have time to give my efforts to anywhere else. That's just what it is.
Turn me up a little bit, kid.
Harlem opens up with number 20. The open family pull up. 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 351 West 122nd Street. Harlem, New York. New York. That's 102.7. Come on, pull up. Let's get it. Proclaim your nationality. Harlem on the rise. The trip capital of the United States. Harlem.
Come on, family.
Come on, I'm there.
We got this.
May the 2nd, 2025. Proclaim your nationality. Let's get it. Detroit, are you ready? Are you ready, Detroit? Detroit Noble Temple number 4. Noble Temple number 4.
What up,
of the
Brian?
Prophets Temple in Detroit, Michigan. Let's go.
Let's go.
That's right, the D. Detroit,
I got you, Nicky
Michigan.
Scott L. I
Temple
got
number
you.
4.
Give me a
Noble
minute.
Temple number 4. That's right, don't get it confused. Noble Temple number
on.
4. The official followers, subscribers, representative of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. The Moorish Science Temple of America, Noble Temple number 4. We open, family. That's right, May 2nd, 2025.
Come take out your nationality and membership card for the Moorish Science Temple of America. Proclaim your nationality. Join the Moorish Science Temple of America, styled as the Noble Temple. We follow only the pristine teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. We call it Orthodox Islamism. We don't follow no adulterated teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, only the footsteps of the Holy Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Join us as we rebuild the Moorish Science Temple of America. That's right, rebuild and reestablish the Moorish Science Temple of America.
The biggest event of the year comes to Detroit, Michigan. The usurping of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Lecture by Tahaka Bey, the People's Grand Chief. If you ever wonder why the Moorish Science Temple of America has not been on the forefront of civics, have not been on the forefront of liberation, then this lecture is for you. The usurping of the Moorish Science Temple of America. This lecture is about the overthrow of the Supreme Grand Council, the Grand Body, and the Grand Sheik and Chairman. The very system that embodies the divine plan of the ages. The divine plan of the ages is the system to walk us from organization to My objective now is to bring the people into the science that never heard of it before. Because you showed me those that think they know ain't ready to go. Your example